The crypto crash. Bitcoin continues its remarkable tumble as investors across the sector brace for what's to come. Welcome to the Daily Forkast, June the 14th, 2022. I'm Forkast's Joel Flynn. It's been a dark day for markets. Meltdown has followed the suspension of withdrawals from Celsius. There are big questions about what could happen next. We've got the latest for you on what's been happening from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Double-digit price drops, talks about margin calls, and investors locked out of their accounts. It has been a rollicking 24 hours on the blockchain as markets have hit the panic button. A move by Celsius to pause withdrawals prompted much of that yesterday. The company cited extreme conditions. Afterwards, investors dumped crypto assets, causing Bitcoin to plummet. Its value fell to less than $22,000 by noon Hong Kong time, its lowest level in 2 years. All of this ahead of a 75 basis point jump in lending rates expected from the US Federal Reserve tomorrow. The Fed, of course, trying to fight off runaway inflation, but that could yet cause more pain for markets and for crypto investors. Another casualty was the USDD. The Tron network's algorithmic stablecoin lost its US dollar parity yesterday, falling below the 98 US cent mark. However, Tron's founder Justin Sun stepped in to try and avert fears of another Terra Luna-style collapse. Forkast's Danny Park reports.
Sun tweeted yesterday that he would set up a $2 billion fund to support the Tron project's USDD stablecoin and fight against short sellers. The Tron DAO Reserve followed up, saying it had received $700 million worth of USDC to support the USDD peg. Fears over reserves were sparked as the USDD uses an algorithmic mechanism similar to that of the Terra stablecoin, which collapsed last month. However, one expert told Forkast, stablecoins should not all be tarred with the same brush.
We can't just look at this one project and say, oh, that's where there's an issue now. And even Luna is not the one instigator that has sent the market tumbling, right? So I guess, yes, there is some hesitancy around algorithmic stablecoins right now. I would not say that there is a kind of overall skepticism around stablecoins.
Kaysen says that while there are some similarities between Tron's founder Justin Sun and Terra's Do Kwon, there's also a significant difference.
They have some similarities in loudness and kind of the noise they make in the market, but I think Justin Sun may have more of a positive track record behind it. USDD has a smaller market cap, and it seems that Tron is not intent on kind of raising that too much in unhealthy ways.
According to Tron DAO, the collateralization rate of USDD was at almost 250% Tuesday lunchtime in Asia. However, at the same time, the USDD had yet to regain parity with the dollar, trading at a little under 99 US cents. The total value locked, or TVL, in Tron DeFi has fallen to around $4.7 billion, while the TVL for the broader DeFi market has sunk to its lowest level since 2021. For Forkast, I'm Danny Park.
Well, among those being hardest hit by the sell-off is Microstrategy. The business intelligence firm has lost around $1 billion from the value of its Bitcoin portfolio. It holds nearly 130,000 BTC thanks to purchases driven by founder Michael Saylor. Microstrategy shares were down over 25% following yesterday's sell-off, leading losses by others like Marathon, Riot, and Coinbase. Saylor's denied speculation about margin calls. He's said problems would only occur if Bitcoin hits $3,500. Meanwhile, an update from Binance. Withdrawals on the Bitcoin network have resumed after a temporary pause on Monday. In a statement, the world's largest crypto exchange said it was still working to process pending Bitcoin withdrawals. It added some users would need to resubmit requests. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao initially tweeted that a stuck transaction had caused the backlog, which was expected to be fixed within about 30 minutes. He later admitted the fix was taking longer than expected. With everything happening at the moment, do make sure you head to Forkast.News for the latest updates and more detail on what it all means. All right, so let's get some more analysis and insight on this market meltdown with Benjamin Starney, Business Development and Sales Director at Matrixport. Benjamin, thanks for talking to us. I hope you're well.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Listen, crypto markets, as I said, reeling, hitting lows we've not seen for quite some time. Can I just get your general reaction to what's going on and your opinion on whether we're anything close to the bottom yet?
It's very hard to call where the bottom here is. I think what makes sense is looking at what factors are dragging us lower. And I think there's two major factors here. The first you mentioned is on the macro side of things. We've had basically our risk asset is short-term dependent on whatever the Fed does, and the latest inflation print certainly spooked markets. So correlations with equity markets and other risk assets are at all-time highs. And I've seen some of banks calling even for a 75 basis points hike at the next Fed meeting. So obviously that's very hawkish and will have impact on our asset class. I think the second factor is stress within crypto. We've seen that first starting on with the Luna collapse, and now we're starting to see that spread into other major crypto lenders that have come under pressure and had to either raise liquidity at painful valuations or in some cases even have to halt withdrawals, which is causing, of course, even further stress.
Yeah, look, Benjamin, in terms of risk, how effectively do you think crypto markets are pricing all of this in? In any sense, do you get the idea that we're perhaps seeing a maturing of the market in the way that we're seeing participants behave and potentially adjust to this situation?
Yes, you could say that. In a way, our industry is becoming more mature, and this here is predominantly a liquidity issue. I'll take the example for STETH because a lot of discussions have been circling around that one. Celsius, the player that you've mentioned before, who also halted withdrawals for their users, they had a significant jump in STETH. In a nutshell, how it works is you can deposit Ethereum into a protocol called Lido, and they will give you a wrapped liquid staked version of that Ethereum. On the way in, it's one-on-one. The problem here is on the way out. There's no way currently that you can unstake your Ethereum. That will only be possible once Ethereum transitions successfully to proof of stake, and will implement unstaking mechanisms. So in a liquidity issue where we're having now, a player that needs liquidity will have to sell this STETH at a discount. And that's what we're seeing in the market already happening.
Yeah, we're looking at some really interesting potential resistance levels now in terms of positions. What are you guys talking to your clients about? At what point do you start to see people considering getting back into the market? Where do we see a market cap begin to find some sort of support?
It's very hard to pin down any levels here because we've broken through many important resistant levels, and it's at the moment what's going on is there's a major liquidity stress, as I've said. So you don't know which players are solvent yet. You don't know how long this drag on liquidity will continue, and so I expect markets continue to be very volatile in the near term. And for people who have not experienced the crypto bear market in the past, these markets can come very sharp and can last much longer than you would expect. So I would strongly advise anybody investing in crypto to be extremely careful with leverage. I always say that, but especially around these times, and invest in assets that you have a very strong view that they will have value in the long run, and do your dollar cost averaging into these assets.
All right, Benjamin, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for your insight.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's your daily forecast from Asia to the world. For more on what's happening right now on the blockchain, please make sure you head to Forkast.News. Do follow us on Twitter as well at Forkast_News. But until next time, I'm Forkast's Joel Flynn. I'll see you then.